If you only look at the box score stats, you would think the Dallas Cowboys defensive line did not have that good of a game against a top 5 Detroit Lions offensive line. But if you guys watch the tape tells a completely different story. And today we are going to analyze the tape, and we are going to get into a couple of snaps that really stood out to me that allowed the Dallas Cowboys, at least in my opinion, to have success. So we're going to get into the tape. We're going to start with the first play right here. This was the very first play of the game. This play right here is the bread and butter of the Detroit Lions run game. They're going to run a split zone, but within that split zone, what they're actually going to do is they're going to bring a tight end in motion. Now, this tight end that's coming in motion has the responsibility to come down and take on DeMarcus Lawrence and really set the edge here. He is the backside blocker of this play. And one of the reasons why this play works so well is because the running back's lined up to the right, and the run is technically supposed to hit either in the A gap, the B gap, or possibly out here towards the C gap. So if you guys watch this play here and watch the guard and tackle, to me, this play right here has the potential to pop. Because safety Jaron Kearse is a little late to get back into the box. So what's going to happen within this play is you're going to get a double team here on Smith. The left guard's going to reach up here to Kearse. The tackle here is going to pick off Damone Clark. And assuming the tight end makes the block here on DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, you got a massive lane basically from here to over here. And the first guy that can make the play is Donovan Wilson down here. And you'd be possibly looking at a gain of maybe 10 to 15 yards, depending on if Wilson makes the tackle or not. And this play ends up picking up nothing. And that's because DeMarcus Lawrence basically blows up the entire play. So if you guys keep an eye on DeMarcus Lawrence, he's going to utilize the spill technique, which is a way that defensive ends are utilized in certain schemes. Sometimes it'll be linebackers, just depending on whoever's on the outside, to basically disrupt the run lanes that may develop in zone schemes. So the Detroit Lions run a lot of zone. Bread and butter play right here is a split zone with the tight end coming from the outside to the inside. And DeMarcus Lawrence is basically going to spill or jump to the inside of the blocking tight end here. And because of that, the run lane basically gets taken away. So DeMarcus Lawrence here does a phenomenal job to spill to the inside and blow up this play on 1st and 10. A play that could have possibly been a big gain. Just like that, you see the Lions pick up absolutely nothing on this play. And there's a lot of plays like this that were really, really nice on tape. And of course, today we're going to analyze that tape. Let's get right into it. Micah Parsons almost never gets the credit for being the type of run defender he is, for being as strong as he is, being as physical at the point of attack as he is. He blows this play up right here. This play ends up picking up no yards. And this is such a great job by Micah Parsons, because he not only takes on the starting right tackle, but he also takes on the 6th offensive lineman that the Lions have in here. And he takes on the block of both guys. And to me, this is very, very hard to do. That's like 650 pounds right there. Mean physicality, toughness. And Parsons takes both guys on, and he gets off the block. And he gets in there and he blows the play up. That's an impressive play by Micah Parsons, and he definitely does not get the credit that he deserves for as strong as he is. And I believe it was Trent Williams that was talking about Micah Parsons recently, talking about how much stronger he actually is than the credit he gets, right? Because he's so quick, he has such a great first step. A lot of people kind of think that he's on the weaker side, and he's really just fast, but I want to point out how strong he actually is. And I think this is a good rep to kind of point that out. Of course, this play right here picked up no yards. It's a great job right there. Let's get into the next snap. So early on in the game, Dak Prescott ended up throwing an interception, and these are 2 plays that basically stopped the Dallas Cowboys from giving up points on this drive. So this is actually 2nd and 4 from the 36-yard line. At this point, it's about a 53 to 54-yard field goal, but the Cowboys are going to make 2 back-to-back plays. This was the first one here. Micah Parsons is going to do a phenomenal job beating the left guard. Straight up just hezzies and shakes the guard as the guard's kind of coming out of his stance. Parsons is lined up on the line of scrimmage, as you guys can tell. The guard here, it has a reach on Parsons, but since Parsons jumps to the inside and it is his own run, technically it should have been the center to pick up Parsons. And you're going to see that as the guard kind of gets shaken here, he ends up just going to the next level. The center's not fast enough to react. Parsons blows up this entire play. 2nd and 4 from the 36-yard line. And the Lions lost 4 yards on this one. And then on 3rd and 8, the very next play, they're going to take a 7-yard sack. Dorrance Armstrong does a phenomenal job being able to generate pressure from the inside as the defensive ends generate pressure from the outside. And on this one here specifically, I mean, both of the defensive ends basically win. We'll watch Parsons here first against Penei Sewell. I think Penei Sewell is one of the best tackles in the NFL. At the moment, I'd put him in my top 3 right tackles. The guy's a phenomenal football player. And you can see on this one here, he's going to do a ghost move on Michael Parsons, which is definitely something that Sewell has in his toolbox. He's going to throw the right hand out there. Him throwing that right hand out there does make Parsons react. You can see Parsons try to swat that hand away. Penei Sewell brings that back, and he's going to lock in with Parsons. Parsons just turns this into a straight power move, and he's going to take Penei Sewell right back into the quarterback. And he's going to generate the pressure. He's going to get the right hand on the quarterback. The quarterback's forced to step up. Of course, DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong are also right there as they kind of generate their own pressure from the inside. Just a great job by the defensive line. This one right here, a lot of credit has to be given to DeMarcus Lawrence because it's him and Armstrong that are kind of running this game, it looks like, on the inside. And Lawrence picks off 2 guys. And I think that right there does allow Armstrong to kind of get the leverage within this one. And you can see the right guard there ends up hitting Armstrong and pushing him into the quarterback. But just a great job here by the defense to force the Lions out of field goal range. All right, 3rd and 8 here. They lose 7 yards, and they basically end up on the 47 to 50-yard line, and they basically are going to punt the football. So great job by the defensive line to generate 2 back-to-back negative plays and ultimately not allow the offense to score points. Alrighty, guys, if you guys look at this play here, it's the same exact play as the very first play of the game that we looked at. It's the split zone with the tight end coming in motion, and this time the tight end's going to miss the block. But what's interesting about this play here specifically is this was 3rd and 2. And the Detroit Lions love to run this play. This is the bread and butter of their offense. And on this one, the interesting thing is if you guys watch number 56, Dante Fowler, he's almost going to hesitate to the inside. If you guys watch the angle he kind of takes, he looks to be going to the inside and then he jumps back to the outside. And I feel like this tight end, understanding what happened the last time the Lions ran this play, he ended up getting beat to the inside, and this time, I feel like Fowler faked it to the inside, jumped to the outside, and the tight end misses the block once again. Keep in mind, this was 3rd and 2. The Detroit Lions basically punted the football after this play. And that's a really, really nice job once again by Dante Fowler on a key moment to step up and basically tackle the running back for a 3-yard loss. Let's get into the next snap. Check this play out here. Jordan Lewis is going to make a fantastic play on the football. The Dallas Cowboys are going to run this play action here, and they're going to try to hit their wide receiver on a screen, and Lewis just jumps in and picks it off. I mean, that's such a nice job right there by the cornerback. But even more than just the cornerback, I felt like Osa Odigizua does a fantastic job jumping the inside here. I think the broadcast crew pointed this out in last night's game, but you guys can look at just how impressive this is. So you got the play action, which means the offensive line are all going to jump set, which is the way you fake a play action. You basically go forward. In this case, they're play actioning a zone look, so they're going to kind of take steps to the right. But Odigizua just jumps right through there. And everything about this play is perfect. Not only does he not run into the tight end right there, he avoids the tight end. He's able to slip past the center and right guard. The right guard's not able to pick it up. And just like that, you see him generate the pressure. And the quarterback throws this ball because of that pressure. And the quarterback obviously threw it without really looking. And Jordan Lewis is able to capitalize and help the Dallas Cowboys. That's a really, really, really nice job right there. Let's get into the next snap. Check this play out. You got a 2nd and 2. Sam Williams is going to generate a little bit of pressure off the right edge. And the quarterback's going to rush this throw a little bit. And you're going to see this can be an incomplete pass. It wasn't a terrible pass. I think the tight end may have dropped this. But I do like the move here by Sam Williams. He's going to hesitate on this tackle, and then he's going to turn this into a power move, which is just going to be that right-hand swat here. He's going to really get it right into the offensive lineman there. Move the offensive lineman off his spot. You see him kind of get rocked here, and the offensive lineman kind of goes to the left a little bit. And Sam Williams is able to generate a little bit of pressure, and he's able to force the quarterback into a pass that ultimately was not completed, right? So it's a good job right there by Sam Williams to be able to get into there. This was 2nd and 2. And then on the very next play, you got a 3rd and 2. And once again, the Dallas Cowboys are going to force an incompletion. The Dallas Cowboys are going to collapse the pocket. They're going to get to the quarterback. And once again, the defensive line is generating that pressure. You know, never underestimate just because a defensive line may not get sacks, the actual impact they had. But at this point, I've primarily shown you guys either 2nd or 3rd down plays. I primarily have shown you guys situations where the defensive lines generated a little bit of pressure. On this one is Osa Odigizua against a pretty good left guard in Jonah Jackson, a guy that's a pretty damn good football player. And Osa's going to dip and just rip, and he's going to generate that pressure at the same time on the inside. Mike Parsons is going to run this game to the inside. And then you'll see number 99 here also generate a little bit of pressure. Golston does a pretty good job collapsing the pocket. Jared Goff obviously has to take steps here from where he's currently at to the left as he's throwing this pass, and I feel like him having to do that, the pass ends up just being a little bit behind the wide receiver and ends up being just a little bit short of the wide receiver. So that's a really, really nice job right there by the defensive line to generate the pressure, force Goff off the spot, and then basically get the incomplete pass. That's a really nice job. Let's get into the next snap. Now, if you guys also look at the total amount of yards that the Dallas Cowboys gave up on the ground, 4 yards per rush, which a lot of people would say is a good game, but I do want to say this. You know, the Dallas Cowboys gave up 4 big runs this past game against the Detroit Lions. This was one of them. This was an 11-yard run that Jamari Gibbs had. He had a 11-yard run. He had a 17-yard run. David Montgomery had a 22-yard run, and then Amon St. Brown also had an 11-yard run, which ended up those 4 plays coming out to 61 yards. To me, the fact that the Detroit Lions ran the ball 31 times and half their yards came on 4 snaps, and here's the 17-yard run that Gibbs had, but the fact that 4 runs equated to 61 yards for the Detroit Lions told me that the run game wasn't that effective for the Detroit Lions, right? Generally speaking, if you guys look at every single run, it was a lot less than 4 yards, right? Because they did have a couple of really, really big runs. Now, this one here was a really nicely designed run. This is referred to as crunch. You guys can see that you're going to get the guard here to pull to the right. The tight end's going to pull to the right. And they're basically just kind of folding around these offensive linemen. And you can see kind of how this is blocked. It's almost a trick play. I think the Lions probably run this like once every other game. And on this one here, it ended up popping for 17 yards. And I'm pretty sure the Cowboys have run this as well this season. It's referred to as crunch. It's a style of block to kind of throw the linebackers off, right? You can see the guys kind of floated the wrong side. Both Damone Clark and Marquise Bell. If you guys watch both guys, and I'll slow it down, they both flow to the right, although this is a run play to the left, right? And that's the point of crunch, right? It's to confuse the linebackers, and on this one, it obviously worked because they picked up 17 yards. After that 17-yard game, watch DeMarcus Lawrence blow up the first down play. This is 1st and 2 from the 2-yard line. Lawrence is going to absolutely crush this play. I mean, he goes right past the right guard, gets into the backfield, blows the play up. And Damone Clark's right there as well. This was 1st and 2, and I show you guys this because obviously the Dallas Cowboys actually ended up getting the stop here. So the 17-yard run that Gibbs had actually led to no points. So on 2nd down, they obviously threw the football. It was an incomplete pass. Now it's 3rd and 5. And the Lions are going to try to run the football. And Donovan Wilson makes the play of the game. This play may not have scored a touchdown, honestly. I think what the Detroit Lions were looking for on this one was to get down to maybe the 2-yard line. And they probably would have gotten there if Donovan Wilson does not blow up the offensive lineman here. But they don't end up getting there because Wilson obviously made the play. But really impressive play because on 4th down, as you guys know, you're once again going to get a little bit of pressure. This time, the Lions are going to try to do a 5-man protection against the Cowboys defensive line, which means one-on-one for Michael Parsons. And it's going to be an incomplete pass. 4th and 4, the Cowboys basically, once again, get a stop. The defense forces a turnover on downs. And to me, this did not make sense. Why you're going to go in a true 5-man protection against the Dallas Cowboys defensive line. This is a phenomenal defensive line. Golston, very underrated D tackle. Osa, solid-ass football player. Lawrence and Parsons. And you see on this one, Parsons basically is going to beat the left tackle. And the left tackle here, Taylor Decker, is a pretty good left tackle. Right out of his stance is going to hezzy. So you'll see him right there, hezzy. And then with that hezzy, he's going to utilize the right-hand swipe. And you see that the offense tackle gets off balance. And just like that, Parsons is going to generate the pressure in a key clutch moment. 4th and 4, he's generating pressure. And they force the quarterback to obviously throw the ball under pressure. And Jared Goff is not able to complete the pass. Once again, the defensive line is stepping up and making plays. I mean, this is a phenomenal job here by the defensive line, specifically Michael Parsons, but you see a couple other guys kind of get there. Let's get into the next snap. Check this play out. Watch Parsons against Penei Sewell. A very, very good play here by Parsons. An even better pass by Jared Goff, because this one obviously hits for 63 yards. But, I mean, these are the type of plays that Parsons is able to generate pressure on. These are those type of plays that, in my opinion, make a massive difference. Let me go ahead and back this up to the all-22 angle. You guys have a better view at the actual hit that Parsons is going to ultimately deliver. Just a really, really nice move on a great tackle, and he absolutely crushes Jared Goff. To me, this is such a nice move here by Parsons. He's going to hesitate or fake the speed rush. He's going to jump back to the inside. He's going to rip. He also kind of gets low and dips a little bit. And he just slips right past Penei Sewell. I mean, this is not a bad job by the right tackle. But it's an even better job by Parsons to be able to kind of get past him. And that's a good throw by Jared Goff, honestly. To be able to take that hit by Parsons and still put the ball out. Of course, this one ended up going for 63 yards, but still a really nice job by Michael Parsons. I'm going to wrap this video up with just giving you guys my final thoughts on this game, specifically the end of the game. As you guys know, the Detroit Lions obviously drove downfield, and they basically scored a touchdown, right? And they went for the 2. We'll talk about that as we kind of end the video here. This play right here popped for 14 yards, and I felt like one of the things that the Cowboys did on their side of the field versus what the Lions are doing. Keep in mind the Lions are going to keep a tight end in here. They're going to have their 5 offensive linemen in, plus the running back's going to chip here on Parsons to pick off the 4 defensive linemen. You're not going to generate pressure that way if you're a defensive line. You're not going to be able to get after the quarterback consistently when there's this many guys chipping and helping. And to me, on the back end, they're just a little bit too conservative, right? When the offense is keeping this many guys, and there's no reason to be giving up the chunk plays that ultimately the Dallas Cowboys were giving up, right? I felt like you had to generate more pressure in these situations, right? But I did want to just kind of point that out. Of course, the Detroit Lions obviously ended up scoring a touchdown on this pass here to St. Brown. You guys will see the touchdown pass here. 11-yard pass from the 11-yard line. Kind of a bad job by the defense. I'm not sure exactly what happened. You do have 2 guys down here, and then you have 2 wide receivers. I'm not sure why they didn't properly pick this up. Obviously, you can see right away both guys kind of got confused. I believe that's Jordan Lewis at the bottom who kind of got confused on who to take, and then Stephon Gilmore tried making up for it, and then they both kind of got off the guy and basically ended up scoring a touchdown there. And then you got the illegal pass. There's a couple of issues with this play, right? A couple of different things that kind of happened. I think the play wouldn't have counted regardless if the guy ended up reporting properly. I believe the issue was that number 58's on the line of scrimmage, as is the wide receiver here. So even if the guy had properly reported, the play would not have counted, right? It was definitely an illegal formation regardless. And I'm actually surprised the flag didn't come down right away. Of course, they ended up going for it 2 more times. This one here, Mike Parsons obviously is going to jump off sides. You guys will see that here in a second. Parsons is at the bottom of your screen. There he is. He jumps off sides. And you're going to see that's going to be an interception. But regardless of the offside penalty, the quarterback still takes a pretty big hit. So regardless of that, that's a nice job on the inside by Osa Odigizua. And I believe that's Chauncey Golston. They're going to run that defensive line game on the inside. This play is still intercepted. Parsons is the one that jumped off sides, but it's these guys that end up generating the pressure. So Parsons didn't really impact this play in the instance of the pressure. So that's a phenomenal job right there by the interior guys. And then they're going to once again go for it. This is the final play right here. Once again, the defensive line is getting close to the quarterback. The quarterback has to throw the ball out a little bit early, a little bit quicker. He's leaning almost backwards as he kind of throws the pass. And you can see that Michael Parsons is coming right off the right edge here, generating a little bit of pressure. DeMarcus Lawrence ends up doing a pretty good job against Penei Sewell. You can see right there, he's going to hesitate, get over the top. That's a pretty nice job by the defense line. I feel like they had a really, really good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys next time with another video.